Good afternoon. Good afternoon to each and every one of you. Why? This is the day that the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. So we're grateful to God for those of you that will be coming, an hour and a half later than what we normally do. We are thankful to God for you being here with us on this day and this hour and this moment. So we understand that for many, this is like their lunch period. That's why 12 worked out so well. So I appreciate those that will be able to get on at the 1:30 hour or even a little bit later so that you can watch it at your own leisure. So we just want to say that we are grateful to God for those of you that will be coming on. Good midday with you, Minister Sarah. And we're just thankful. We're just thankful, grateful for all. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that so much. That helps us out tremendously as we come on board to do what we need to do. Tamika, how are you? Praying that your son is doing well. And thank you, Chaplain Hearns. Good afternoon to you. Grateful to God for you. Nancy, Denise, thank you. Minister Faye, good to have you. Good to have you on board. Yes. Crazy as usual. Barbara Foose, staying out of trouble. I got to check up on you to make sure. Jemison, thank you for sharing, Nancy. Thank each and every one of you for being a part of this powerful moment of perseverance in the word of the Lord and by the power of his might. So please, as a couple of others have already done, if you would be so kind as to share, that would be great. Good afternoon to you, Cora. Okay. Fantastic. That's what I like to hear. Glory to God. Katrina, good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for being a part of this moment. And we appreciate each and every one of you. We should be at the 12 o'clock hour for the rest of the week. And so we just needed to do what we needed to do. I had some doctor's appointments that I needed to go to. Herma, bless you, dear. And the Lord did move yesterday in a mighty way, and we're grateful to God for his power and presence. I found out some very interesting news in having a conversation with my doctor. And I just, how they can stay healthy, people can stay at home. It becomes easier. Wayne, how you be? Okay. And what I found out that was so fascinating is how the things that are going on. Thank you, James. I appreciate you, sir. Glad all is well. That the flu, RSV, and COVID infections are worse than ever. He was talking to me. I've been praying for him. Yes, Carolyn. He took out a little time because I I have this congestion, and I said since I already had a follow up appointment with him that I would just go ahead and have him, run tests and do whatever. I had already did the COVID test and it had come out negative, so I wasn't worried about that. Vernice, bless you for being here. And so they did the COVID and the flu test. And Pamela, bless you for being here. And they both came out negative. But here's what he told me. And this was sobering, eye-opening news. Amber, bless you for being here. There are so many viruses out here that are going undetected, that are going unnoticed, that it is beyond medical comprehension as to why people are completely and totally ignoring the warnings. Well, I'm glad you're over there. That's good. Tell the family we are in prayer for them. Kathy, Mac, bless you. No one, when they heard the pandemic was over, when they heard the president and the CDC say we back to normal, we went buck wild. And so right now, he told me he has clients, patients who are now in their 4th month of recycling viruses. They go from COVID to flu to RSV, back to COVID to flu to RSV, and it is a maddening cycle. And he is just as frustrated. And when I tell you, Dr. Samir Makati is so frustrated over the fact, hey, Catherine Harris, Lynn, so frustrated. I'm going to message you and have prayer with you, Lynn, over the fact that people are totally ignoring the medical industry. Rhonda, thank you for being here. Absolutely, totally ignoring the medical industry, the doctors and the research people, and just doing what they want to do. People are dying. This new variant is causing people's hearts to stop. I was just reading in another article, and I'm going to continue to read this. It's just out of control. And so he didn't want to prescribe an antibiotic for me because the antibiotics will cause my creatinine number to go up on my kidneys. So he's given me a couple of things. He says the infection that you have has not peaked yet. I was like, what? So he gave me instructions. He told me what to do. I just got the text message saying that my prescriptions are ready to be picked up. Now I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. For those of you who think that you can cure this stuff over the counter, you are deceiving yourself. Hey, Gladys, you're deceiving yourself. You need medical intervention. Again, 5 to 10 years down the road is when we're going to start finding out the real effects of COVID and RSV and all the rest of that stuff. So we can clown with it all we want to. We can still act like it's not there. We can just be ignorantly I'm trying to think of the other word I want to use. Ignorantly absorbed over the fact that we don't need to pay anybody any attention. Let your behind get into the ER. Let a tube have to go down your throat and they have to anesthetize you. You'll wake up and smell the coffee because this is nothing to play with out here right now. Jaleesa, bless you. Erica, good to have you here. And so for 4 years now, my friend Elder Norman Moore, bless you for being here. For 4 years, I've been sounding the alarm. For 4 years, I have been giving you information. For 4 years, I've been telling you to take care of yourself. And for whatever reason, some of us act like, who cares? Dawn, how are you? Thank you so much for being here. Okay. So let me get into the lesson. That's my little soapbox for today because I'm going to get my medication. Giovanni, bless you, dear. Love that little boy. That little boy, he tries to act shy with me, but that's okay. He gonna be my buddy. Okay. And we can play with these viruses. We can act like This stuff isn't real. I went into both offices with my masks on. The amazing thing about it is, and I posted it on Facebook, that the lady that took care of me, see, 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 Amber, I don't know. And so she shared some things with me. And when she shared them with me, because we were talking about fasting, I said, "Well, we're doing a 40-day fast. We're in day 13. Blah 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 blah." She said, "Would you mind praying, uh, adding my family to your list?" And I was like, "Sure." She told me about her one son and the condition that he was in. She told me about her son that committed suicide 7 years ago. Told me about all of this stuff, and I was like, I'm trusting God for you. Here's here's is this the fast that I have chosen? And I'm gonna put this in Facebook in a minute, to loose the bands of wicked. See, yeah, I wish, Erica Forney, bless you for being here. I wish I could get some people to understand that during this time of fasting, God is going to send people your way who are not in your clique. Valerie, bless you, who are not among your roadies, who are not a part of your sphere of relationships. He's going to send you people that don't look like you, are not the same color as you. Listen, I want you to hear what I'm saying. Just like the woman on the cruise ship who was white ran up to me and said, "My husband said you were a pastor. I need you to pray for me because my son's wife died." When you see people being drawn to you, please don't take this out of context. It's the anointing. Hey, Sherry, how are you? It's the anointing, because God, and listen. When you do what God would have you to do, the first person that will get attacked is you. But you got to persevere through it. Let me get this lesson started, because I'm boring y'all. And I don't want to bore you. Good afternoon, Carletta. I want you to go back, and when you have an opportunity, listen to the first part of what my doctor, my health provider, said, and it's frightening. It's absolutely frightening. And so this fast isn't for fun. This fast is so that we can loose the bands of wickedness and let the oppressed go through. Okay, let me get into the lesson. What do you do? Hey, Doe, how are you? What will you do when God is silent? How do you handle his silence? How do you manage the frustration of not knowing where God is? Stephanie, bless you for being here. How do you handle that? How do you handle when God has absolutely nothing to say, although he has said everything he needs to say and is not saying anything else, but you need him for whatever reason to reaffirm or reestablish his presence? How do you deal with this? And I saw something that I thought was overwhelmingly fascinating, and I pray that it's a blessing to you as well, because while Job is in the midst of his suffering, Satan sends reinforcement. And I think that's something that many of us need to recognize and to understand, is that whenever you are doing what God will have you to do, and some level of affliction or situation pops up that's beyond your control, Satan will send. Satan will send reinforce. You remember Job. Job was bent out of shape. Job was tore up. Job didn't know what to do. He had not bothered anybody. He wasn't. Elder James, thank you for being here. He had not uh, maligned anybody. He had not done anything malicious to anyone in any way, shape, form, or fashion. Hey, Linda, how are you? And in the midst of this, in the midst of everything that's going on, God decided to choose him to be an example to others as to what God can do, even when you don't know what God is doing. And so Job is going through this. Lavonda, thank you for being here. He's going through these things, and then all of a sudden, here comes his friends. His friends show up. Now you got to look at this, because he has lost everything. He has lost his wealth. He has lost his family. He has lost everything that in the sight of those who are looking was an indicator that he was in right relationship with God. The problem is, and this is something that many people need to remember and understand, when we get upset with people by sharing information that is false or tainted, because a lot of times people can only share information within the realm of their own understanding. Lord, help me to teach this, please. You gave this to me, or help me to teach this like you gave it to me. Because a lot of times, because of people's limited understanding of God, they also place limits on the results of God, or limits on the activity of God, or limits on of what God is actually doing. And so these three friends who had been taught since children that the one thing that distinguished them from everybody else was their wealth. Their wealth was an indicator that God was on their side. Their wealth was the indicator that they were in right standing with God. Their wealth let it be known. And then all of a sudden, all of this stuff has gone wrong. And they say, Job, you done sinned. You sinned. And the thing about you, Job, the thing about you, Elder Moore, is that you're too arrogant and you're too full of yourself to admit that you've done wrong. And here's where this is the trying of your faith. Where are my James 1 people? Woo. For the trying of your faith works patience. And this is where Job hangs on to his integrity. He says, now, as much as you think that you're right, as much as within your own theological presuppositions of what you think is actually happening in my life, I know where I am. And that's when you're going through, there's some things you better know. There's some things you better be sure of, because the enemy will do everything he can to shake your foundation. Because if he can shake your foundation, he can shake your faith. It's not that God is absent. That's not the point. God is there the whole time, because it was God's pronouncement of Job that got him in that situation. I said it Sunday morning. Go back and look at it. Job was minding his own business, doing his thing, making his sacrifices, doing what needed to be done. And God said, have you considered? Lord, have mercy. My boy, no, my servant. He serves me. He trusts me. He believes in me. But even in the midst of all of that, everybody's faith can be tried to the point that you're almost at unbelief. Oh, you don't believe me? When you go to Job 23, verses 1 through 7, you see it crystal clear what Job says. Even today, my complaint is bitter and my hand is listless because of my groanings. Oh, if I knew where I might find him, that I might come to his seat, I would present my case before him and fill my mouth with arguments. I would know the words which he would answer me, and understand what he would say to me. Would he contend with me in his power? No, but he would take note of me. Look, you got to catch what Job is saying. Job is saying this. You got to catch this. I got you, Elder Moore. This is what you got to understand. Job is saying, listen to this. I feel like even God himself has forgotten me. I've never had a problem finding him. I've never had a problem feeling and sensing his presence. I've never ever had a problem with knowing where he is, but today I'm struggling because this struggle keeps going on and on and on and on and on. And in the midst of what I'm going through, here come my friends, adding insult to injury and telling me what I've done wrong. And I know that I've not done anything wrong. I've been exactly where God would have me to be. But if I could just find you, if I could just sit, if I could come to the seat that you sit on, if I could just do that, maybe you might talk to me. I'm going to stop right there because I'm going to pick up the rest of this on tomorrow. When it appears that God is not answering prayer, it's not that he's not answering. What he is doing is preparing you for the answer. I got to go. Listen, join me tomorrow. I'm going to pick up where I left off at. We're going to work through this thing in the midst of what's going on, in the midst of day 13, in the midst of this. And the truth of the matter is, Nancy, I really don't feel bad. Okay. The only thing that's going on is I've got this congestion and stuff. I feel tired, which is supposed to happen. But I want you to, okay, next time is at 12 noon, Dawn, 12 noon. We will be back at the 12 noon hour. So y'all pray for me. I pray for you. I just want the scratchy throat to go and all of this other stuff. I'm getting ready to go to Walgreens and pick up the medication that the doctor has prescribed for me. And then I'm going to lay down and rest. That's what he told me to do. I'm going to do what the doctor tell me to do. I've been through too many storms to be stupid now. Man, I love y'all with the love of Jesus, who is the Christ. You bet not miss tomorrow. I'm telling you right now, you bet not miss tomorrow. Because I got some stuff I'm going to show you in this text that's going to blow your mind. Carletta said it in the class on Saturday. Okay. I always try to the best of my ability to make sure I share with you something you have never seen before. So that however you walk and whatever you go through, God will show you his power, his majesty, and his might. Listen, love y'all, love y'all, love y'all, love y'all, love y'all with the love of Jesus Christ. Man, y'all mean the world to me. May God bless you. May he keep you is our prayer.